go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So, and why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best? So let's go test ourselves.
I think it's going to be a great fight, number one. I think both guys are going to be in great shape, like always. And look, you know, I'm favoring Crawford because I just think Crawford is an awkward fighter, and I think he's going to give Canelo problems just because he switches both ways, and he won't be running all around the ring like school did.
Terence Crawford's trainer, Bomac McKinstry, has just revealed their shocking game plan ahead of Canelo-Alvarez clash. However, Mark Tibs shared his thoughts on the possible fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. He said that even though he likes Crawford's style and respects his skills, he leans toward Canelo because of the weight. According to Tibs, the weight will suit Canelo more, and that could give him the edge. He explained that he would not be surprised if either fighter won, since both are very talented. However, if he had to pick one, he would choose Canelo because he believes the weight will be in Canelo's favor.
Stylistically, I fancied Terence Crawford, yeah? But the weight, I'm leaning toward Canelo because, you know, I think it's going to suit Canelo more, the weight advantage. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford won, and I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo won. Not sitting on the fence. It's just that. But if I have to lean towards someone, it would be Canelo because of the weight's going to suit him more, in my opinion.
Moreover, Sam Jones gave his opinion on the Crawford versus Canelo fight and said he is now backing Terence Crawford. He admitted that he had previously thought Canelo would win, but after watching Canelo's recent performances, he changed his mind. Sam said both fighters seem to be slightly declining, but he did not mean that in a disrespectful way. He mentioned that Crawford is around 37 or 38 years old, and it's natural for any fighter to slow down at that age. Sam also said Canelo has already made more money than he probably knows what to do with, which makes it harder to stay motivated. He added that he has a strong feeling Crawford will win on points, though he joked he might change his mind later.
I'm backing Crawford now. I thought Canelo was going to win, but I don't like what I've seen in the last couple of fights from Canelo.
To him?
I'm just saying, right? They're both, in my opinion, gently on the decline, yeah? Gently. And that's not disrespectful because I'm a huge Crawford fan. Huge Crawford fan. But he's 38. What is he, 37, 38? Naturally, you are going to dip, yeah? Canelo Alvarez has made more money than I'm sure he knows what to do with. So it's like, how do you keep motivating yourself? Crawford's going to be sharp. I just have a sneaky feeling, and by the way, I will probably contradict myself before these knobheads start saying, he said this. I think I'll change my mind, but as it stands in my head, I believe Crawford will win on points.
Boosezie Ennis shared that even though some people might not believe him, he is leaning toward Terence Crawford to win. He compared Crawford to Jaron Boots Ennis when it comes to handling bigger weight classes, saying both fighters can go up in weight and still dominate. He mentioned that he has seen Boots spar bigger guys and knock them out in the gym, and he believes Crawford can do the same at 168 pounds. Boosezie said this weight could actually be perfect for Crawford, and he has full confidence that Terence can manage it. He pointed out that Crawford is a very smart boxer who doesn't waste punches and always knows what he's doing in the ring.
People ain't gonna believe me, but I'm leaning towards Terence.
Oh, okay.
Remember this though, Terence and Boots is almost like similar when it comes to that weight thing, right?
Yes.
Boots gets up big, but I seen Boots at a certain weight where he can handle them big guys and stopping them, be knocking them out in the sparring in the gym.
Wow.
When he's up in weight. So I think that's a beautiful weight for Terence, but that's going up to 168 though, right?
Yeah, 168.
Yeah, but I think he can handle it, man. I think
he can do it.
And then one thing about Terence though, people don't understand, he can box and he's smart.
Yes.
He don't waste no punches, man.
He won't waste that energy.
And he's really smart, man, when it comes to that boxing game.
Boosezie explained how he would prepare Crawford if he were training him for a Canelo fight. He said the plan would be to frustrate Canelo by using sharp combinations and constant movement. Since Canelo needs to be set before he throws punches, Crawford's boxing and footwork could break that rhythm. Boosezie said he would have Crawford hit with clean shots, then tie up Canelo before he could get into position. Walking him back to the center would slow the pace and waste time, which could throw Canelo off. According to Boosezie, once Canelo gets frustrated, he starts making mistakes and becomes easier to hit with more clean shots.
But it was me, and I'm training him.
Yeah.
I would have him frustrating Canelo. What I would do with him, I would hit him with some good shots, combination shots, because Canelo got to be set to throw punches.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? If Crawford boxing move, he don't like nobody to boxing move, and that's what I think Crawford is going to do. And then once, this is what I would tell him to do. We'll box him and hit him with good shots. You know what I mean? Set him up. Soon as he get ready to get set, tie him up, walk him to the center.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Kill that clock.
You keep on doing it over and over, and then once you start doing that, right, they lose their cool. Then they open up for all kinds of shots.
Nice. Frustrating, right, Coach?
Yep, frustration.
However, trainer Bomac McIntyre responded to the criticism that Terence Crawford has not faced big names by pointing out what Crawford himself has said in return. Bomac explained that people often claim Crawford only fights unknown opponents, but Crawford's reply is that those fighters became known only after he beat them. Bomac said this proves how good Crawford really is because he makes talented opponents look ordinary in the ring, which shows he is doing a great job.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody or no everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this: what Crawford said. Well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Bomac further explained that Terence Crawford wants to face Canelo without any rehydration clause because he truly believes in his pound-for-pound abilities. He said Crawford is ready for the full challenge at that weight and wants to prove to the world that he is the best. Bomac added that there is no need for extra rules or limits when a fighter is confident in his skills, and Crawford is ready to test himself fully against the best without holding anything back.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So, and why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best? So let's go test ourselves.
Moreover, Ronnie Shields said he expects the fight to be a great one, with both Canelo and Crawford coming in well prepared and in top shape. He explained that he favors Terence Crawford because of his awkward style, which includes switching stances and strong counterpunching skills. Shields believes Crawford will cause problems for Canelo without needing to run around the ring, and that his ability to adjust and show new looks will make a big difference. He praised Crawford as the complete package, saying he has everything a fighter needs to succeed. If he were coaching him, Shields said he would tell Crawford to use his reach and target Canelo's body to help control the fight.
I think it's going to be a great fight, number one. I think both guys are going to be in great shape, like always. And look, I'm favoring Crawford because I just think Crawford is an awkward fighter, and I think he's going to give Canelo a problem just because he switches both ways, and he won't be running all around the ring like School did. Crawford is a great counterpuncher also. Crawford is everything a fighter needs to be, and I think he's going to show Canelo different things that he haven't seen before.
Absolutely. And Coach, if you were training Crawford, what would be some of the keys to victory that you would tell him?
Use your reach and touch his body.
Marcus Brown shared that he has love and respect for both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, saying he is a fan of both fighters. He admitted that most fighters avoid picking sides to stay neutral, but he chose to be honest. Despite his respect for Canelo, Marcus said he is going with Crawford and made it clear that he is backing Bud in this matchup.
I got love for both of them. I like both of them. I'm a fan of both of them, but I'm going with Crawford. Typically fighters, they don't want to say who they want to go for because they don't want to be biased. Yeah. And much respect to Canelo, but I'm going Bud.
Alicia Baumgartner said the matchup between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is a great fight because both men are highly experienced, athletic, and skilled. She pointed out that Canelo has been in the sport for many years, has faced tough challenges, and bounced back from losses. She also praised Crawford for his recent dominant performances, saying the world finally got to see his true talent. While she admitted it is hard to pick a winner, Alicia believes experience will play a major role when the fight happens and could be the deciding factor.
That's a great fight. You have two experienced fighters. You know, when we talk about experience, when we talk about athleticism, when we talk about skill, all those come together when you think of Terence Crawford and Canelo. And with what I'm seeing is that, you know, Canelo's been in this game for years. You know, he's experienced what losses twice. You know, he took a challenge fighting Bivol, lost, came back. He's doing what he loves to do. And I think we saw the fight with Terence Crawford and him dominating in a fashion that the world was ready to see. And then we seen his last fight. So we're kind of taking off from your last fight, seeing that it's going to be a great fight. I can't pick a winner, but you know, experience speaks, and experience will trump everything come that fight.
Galal Yafi shared that while he really likes Terence Crawford and respects his skills, he believes Canelo Alvarez will win the fight. He explained that Canelo is simply too big and has far more experience, having been in huge fights for many years against top-level opponents. Yafi acknowledged Canelo's status as a superstar and said that kind of experience could give him the edge over Crawford.
I think Canelo. I like Crawford, I really like Crawford, but I think Canelo's too big, too experienced. He's been in massive fights for years now against superstars, and well, he's a superstar, but yeah, I think Canelo.
Moreover, Shane Mosley shared that stepping into the 168-pound division to challenge Canelo Alvarez could be a serious risk for Terence Crawford. In his view, Crawford has shown his best performances at 140 and 147 pounds and did fine at 154, but going up against someone as large and powerful as Canelo might be pushing it too far. Mosley explained that Crawford is a naturally gifted fighter who often prefers to engage directly rather than using constant movement, and that approach could backfire. If Crawford tries to go punch for punch with Canelo, Mosley believes the physical gap might be too wide for him to handle.
I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think that the reason why, if Crawford was a mover like the rest of the fight, then maybe he can have a good chance with Canelo, but I think that being that Crawford is a fighter, that's gonna be dangerous. That's gonna be his problem. He's a fighter. He wants to fight. He's gonna move a little bit, but his heart is not in moving. So he's gonna have to sit there and fight with Canelo. And if you sit there and fight with Canelo, and he's that much bigger than you, then I don't know. But everybody think, you know, Crawford, he's a great boxer. He's this, he's that, which he is. He's a great fighter, and I think he's a great fighter at 140, 47, and he seems just to be, you know, good at 54.
Moreover, Sergio Mora admitted that he used to believe a bigger skilled fighter would always beat a smaller skilled one, but Canelo Alvarez's recent outings made him question that idea. He observed that Canelo had trouble cutting off the ring against opponents with longer reach and doesn't seem as sharp as before, likely due to the wear from starting his pro career at 15 and going through over 65 fights. Mora pointed out that even though Canelo is younger than Crawford, Crawford appears to have taken less damage over time and now looks physically stronger, even taller, and more solid. He thinks the match will go the full distance, with Crawford giving Canelo a tough night and leaving visible damage, though in the end, Mora still gives a slight edge to Canelo on the scorecards.
Hey, listen, man, you know, for a long time I kept saying, you know, a great big man will beat a great small man. That's just how it is in boxing. But after Canelo's last performance, like many people, man, he struggled against a guy in cutting off the ring, a longer guy that wasn't trying to make it a fight. And Canelo has lost a step. Let's keep it real. I mean, he's a man with over 65 fights. He's been fighting professionally since he was 15 years old. There's wear and tear, there's injury. He can turn old overnight. And believe it or not, he's younger than Crawford. But Crawford doesn't have those miles. You know, Crawford's 37 years old. He can turn old overnight. But I still like Crawford, man. He's just a mean dude. He's been bulking up nicely, doing it the right way. He looks bigger. He looks bigger than Canelo right now as far as like height, the shoulders. I think it's going to be a decision type fight. I think Crawford's in this fight. And I don't think Canelo leaves unscathed. I think he'll leave a little bruised and beat up, but he'll still win the decision.
Jim Lampley believes Terence Crawford has a real shot at beating Canelo Alvarez if he sticks to a clever, fast-paced plan built around quick attacks and constant movement. He explained that this approach takes a lot of energy and requires excellent fitness, but Crawford has always been known for his conditioning. Lampley said that if Crawford can stay sharp and keep that up for the whole fight, he truly has a strong chance to come out on top.
You get out. Get in, do damage, get out. And keep doing it over and over. It's an exhausting way to fight. You've got to have the conditioning to do it. But if Terence has the right conditioning, and he has never been under conditioned, he's always been in great shape. If Terence has the right condition and can get in and get out, oh, heck yes, he has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez.
Abel Sanchez praised both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez for their high boxing IQs, calling them great fighters, but he gave the edge to Canelo because of his size and defensive skills. He noted that Canelo has taken punches from some of the sport's biggest hitters like Gennady Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol, and Sergey Kovalev without falling apart, showing how well he handles power. Sanchez pointed out that Crawford has been hit more often, even by fighters at 154 pounds, and said no matter how skilled Crawford is or how much weight he adds, dealing with the strength and size of someone like Canelo will be a very different challenge.
Well, Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit. In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He has been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that I've ever coached and I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. You know, he's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's going to be getting hit by a truck.
Sanchez further predicted that Crawford might start strong and take a few rounds early on thanks to his quickness and technical skill, but as the fight continues, Canelo's strength and experience will begin to take control. He explained that after the 6th or 7th round, Canelo usually starts to look dominant, throwing hard shots with confidence and not worrying much about the return fire. While Canelo may not have perfect footwork, Sanchez praised his upper body movement, sharp defense, and powerful, accurate punches. He believes the fight will likely end with Canelo either stopping Crawford or winning by a wide margin on the scorecards, and he urged Crawford's team to keep their fighters' safety in mind if the bout becomes too one-sided.
That at the beginning, just like it was with Kell Brook and Gennady, at the beginning the speed and the talent will show in the fight. I think Canelo will lose 3 or 4 rounds at the beginning, but then once he starts pounding on him, as it's been for the last 6-7 fights of Canelo, after the 6th or 7th round, it's a sparring session for him. You know, he's just throwing bombs away and not caring about what they do to him. But he's got excellent defense. Unfortunately, his feet don't move as well as I would like for him to move them, but his upper body is just unbelievable. He slips punches very well. He's got great hands. He parries very well, and he lands big shots. He may not land as many, but he lands big shots that hurt. So I think Canelo stops him or wide decision at the end, and corner must think about Crawford's safety and health.
Dmitry Bivol admitted that he has never seen Terence Crawford in person, so he cannot say for sure how big Crawford really is. Still, he explained that from the start of his boxing career, he was taught to always respect weight classes because size plays an important role in fights. Even with that belief, Bivol praised Crawford's abilities and called him one of his favorite fighters currently active, showing strong respect for his talent and skill in the ring.
To be honest, I didn't see, Crawford in real life. I don't know how big he is. But the size, when I came to boxing gym and my coach told me that one of the rules, it's like respect the weight classes, You should respect weight classes. But he has a very good skill. He's one of my favorite fighters, active fighters.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about their fight? We would love to hear your thoughts. So share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos too.